For this activity, we're going to do a single circuit LED light card. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the one with the fireflies since I already pre-drew them. And what I went ahead and did was I pre-drew where I was going to lay down my copper tape. So now I'm going to select this one. I'm going to put these to the side. And since I already pre-drew where I was going to lay my circuit tape, this allows me to have easy access so that I know exactly where I'm going to lay it down. For first-time students, especially for lower grade levels, we want to make sure that we can help them take the copper tape off of the bottom part because it can be a little tricky and it kind of curls up in a pigtail if you let go of it really quickly. So what I do is I like to leave the copper tape still applied to the end and then glide it down as it's glided down the side and then roll it all the way up following my line. What I do here is I don't cut it, so what I do is I rotate it, flip it to the side, and then fold over it. So kind of like when you fold your blankets, just the same way. And then I go ahead and fold it down and then press down and lay it all the way down. As you saw there, it curls up like a pigtail when you let go of it too fast. So that's the reason why I like to have it still applied to the plastic end. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the other side. So we want to make sure that when we lay down the copper tape, you do not connect the two ends because we do want to have a positive and a negative side. The copper tape works as a conductor, so we have both a negative and a positive side so that when we lay our LED light down, we have a receptor. So I went ahead and did the same to this side, and now we're going to go ahead and lay it down, and then make sure that when you lay your copper tape, it's laid down flat so we have a full connection and there's no interruption. So I went ahead and did that and did the same to the other side. Now what I did here is I laid down the copper tape all the way to the end of the paper so that I could just fold it up easily and apply this battery at the end where the negative side is up. So the positive side is always the firm side, the one that goes on top, and the negative goes on the bottom. When I go ahead and fold my bottom right sheet of paper, what I did is I pre-drew lines there on the end, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold that on top of the battery. So what I want to do here is I want to add an extra piece of copper tape so when I do lay it over the battery, it has a good connection. And just like that, so when I fold it over the battery, it connects. But it's still not touching the other conductor tape. Now the LED light's going to go on the other far end. The longer side of the LED light is always the positive side, and the short leg is always a negative. What you want to do is you want to split the legs in half, wide enough so that it can touch both ends. We always want to go ahead and pre-test our battery and our light to make sure they're both working. So this is where it's going to go. The negative is the short leg and the positive is the long leg. And so what I'm doing now is I'm adding a little extra copper tape because I did that in a little too short. So you want to make sure it connects. But make sure that those two ends of the copper tape do not touch. Because if they do touch, you no longer have a negative nor a positive side. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking off a bit extra of the copper tape that I had because we do not want them to connect. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to cut off that little extra tip at the end. And there we go. We should see a gap between each end where the LED light is going to be placed. Let's go ahead and test this out. So I'm going to touch the positive stick down and the negative leg down. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold my paper so that I can have a good leverage. And I'm going to go ahead and poke a hole with the scissors on the end. If you do have younger students, please go ahead and help out. We want to make sure that everyone is safe. The LED light is going to stick out on the other side of the card. So where you only have the legs of the LED light facing on the inside on top of the copper tape. So here I went ahead and put it in backwards. And I want to stick my legs through the front of the paper only because this is thick construction paper. And there we go. My legs came back out. So we're going to be very careful with this. And then hold it on the other side. And then fold our legs down. short leg to the negative side and long leg to the positive side. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold it down with my fingers and test it out to make sure that I have it on the right side. I did. Then you can grab some tape. I like to use transparent tape because it sticks a lot nicer down on top of the copper tape. And then I want to go ahead and place it down on top of the leg on top of the copper tape. I want to go ahead and seal out all the bubbles out from both sides of the leg so that it has a nice firm stick to it on the copper tape. And there we go. And we went ahead and tested again. The light turns on, which means that it's on the right side. Remember that the firm side of the battery is on the top, which is the positive, and the negative is on the bottom. But we only want to place the tape on half of the battery. So the half side that the copper tape is not going to touch. Because we do want the copper tape to lay on top of the battery so that it does turn on like a switch. And only half of the battery should be covered. And there we go. This is a single circuit card. We have both copper tapes on the edge, so one side is positive, one side is negative. We use one single battery. We place the tape halfway on the battery, fold above, and there we go. You have now made a LED light card. And this is my Firefly card. Have fun, guys!